So giant robots back on the big screen that isn't called Transformers. So there's a chance this could actually be good. And with that, I'm welcoming you to another episode of The Romance, where my goal, as always, is to enhance the movie watching experience. So Pacific Rim Uprising, of course, a sequel to the original Pacific Rim a few years back, directed by recently Oscar-winning Guillermo del Toro. Here we find John Boyega playing Idris Elba's character's son, whose name I don't remember, but who really cares? And he had dropped out from the Jaeger program. He finds himself in trouble, and to get out of trouble, he goes back to recruit and help out in the Jaeger program, develop the new young cadets that they've recruited. And of course, from there, the kaiju return to invade Earth, and all hell breaks loose. Now, admittedly, I wasn't a huge fan of the original Pacific Rim. You know, it was okay. I didn't hate the movie. It wasn't great, and it wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen. I have some good things about it. You know, obviously, Del Toro's vision here with the creation of the creatures and the robots, that was really cool. And the fighting, when that's on the screen, is great. It's everything else really kind of fell flat for me. So I didn't really have high expectations for this one, to be honest with you. I wasn't excited to see this one. I was hoping that kind of corrects some of the issues that I found in the first movie. And for the most part, they did. Overall, I thought this was a better attempt, a better movie than the original. But let's take it easy here. It is not exactly a great movie, but what it is a dumb, fun, entertaining flick. Now, a couple of reasons why this movie I thought worked better than the last one to some degree is, first of all, the story is not as simple as the original was. And I know there shouldn't be a whole lot to a movie like this when you have monsters and robots and whatever, but you want some kind of story there. And this one kind of gave us something a little bit different. It took these turns which I wasn't expecting. I thought it would be just as simplified as the last one. Here comes the kaiju. They come from the hole in the earth somewhere and they go attack. And to some degree, yes, that kind of stuff does occur, but the way how it shapes up, how it develops is a lot different. It's more interesting, a little bit underdeveloped. I like to see more of that and why things were happening in that fashion, but whatever, it is what it is. And secondly, the main character we had in an original, you had Charlie Hunnam, who I personally don't like. I haven't really seen him anything good besides Sons of Anarchy, to be honest with you, and he just lacked something in the first one. He was very drab and dreary. Here we got John Boyega, and I thought he really shines here. He's so charismatic and fun and interesting, which makes this whole movie a lot more fun than the original was. Now, besides Boyega, he did have one other interesting character, this young girl that he meets early on, who he trains and develops, and that had a really good dynamic between the both of them. Everything else, all right, the other characters, whatever, throw away, one note, you know, underdeveloped, whatever. Just what would you expect out of a movie like this? But in the end, let's not kid ourselves here. This is Pacific Rim. You know, the story, whatever, characters, development, whatever. It's great if it hasn't, but don't kid yourself. If you thought you're going to go into this movie thinking it was going to have a great story, as memorable as other movies, and it's going to have these great characters, yeah, right. You just want to see monsters and robots kick ass, and that's where the movie kind of shines. No, it's hard to mess up the action between giant robots and monsters. That's what's cool about the original. And it was good about this one. You know, it's very well shot. The action is really cool when you see it on the screen. The giant monster. I mean, the 10-year-old kind of inside you kind of gets excited. It does for me. And I think a lot of kids, and you know, the kids inside, all of us who enjoy this kind of movies for what they are gonna have a good time with it. And that's the important part. This is your typical kind of summer blockbuster. Turn your brain off, shove popcorn in your face, and have a good time. And y'all gonna get that. Now, if that's all you're expecting, you're gonna be satisfied. In other words, if you like the original one, I'll keep this simple. You like the original Pacific Rim, odds are you're probably gonna like this one. If you weren't a big fan of the first one, don't bother with this one. If you haven't even seen the first one, but into those kind of things like a King Kong where you get cool monsters and shitty characters and you don't really care about that, you just want to see some cool stuff on the screen, the big screen, where this movie should be seen at, then yeah, go see it. You don't even have to see the first one. They kind of explain the first movie in about the first 2 minutes of this one, and then it takes off from there. And it is fun. Yes, it's a campy and dumb at times. Yeah, no doubt. The story lacks on development. Yeah, it does. But again, what are we there for? Monsters, robots. That's it. So ultimately, Pacific Rim, this is your kind of movie. You guys are going to watch it. Comment below as always. And of course, if you haven't done so already, subscribe below and feed money to go to the movies and talk about it afterwards. See you guys next time.